What's up, y'all? This is the Griot. I am Charles Arness. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. We are going to get into Original Gangsters um, by Ben Westhoff. This particular chapter in this book is I'm gonna give my reaction to is basically the days of Eazy-E's decline and how the business side of Ruthless Records, his record company, was pretty much transferred over to Tamika Woods, and how the marriage and everything went down. And basically, it gives you a little detail about Tamika. Let's go ahead and listen and check it out right now, guys. Hit the thumbs up button and go ahead and subscribe to the Griot if you haven't. Just check it out.
Time to testify. These were dark days for HIV/AIDS treatment, which was causing devastation at an increasingly alarming rate. The side-effect-heavy AZT was the only antiviral drug available in much of the world. Within days of his diagnosis, Eazy's condition was downgraded to full-blown AIDS. Doctors gave him antibiotics to treat a lung infection, but his energy level quickly deteriorated. Woods monitored him around the clock, staying on a cot next to his bed. Word got out before long about his condition. His assistant, Cherise Henry, came as quickly as she could, as did the mothers of many of Eazy's children.
Damn.
Even the ones who used to fight each other. They were holding hands, crying, praying, Henry said. Wearing long underwear and hospital gowns, Eazy watched television and tried to keep his spirits up, whistling when Halle Berry came on the tube. But he could barely get out of bed and soon required an oxygen mask. His girlfriend, Carmen, braided his hair and put lotion on him. His mother brought him fresh fruit. His childhood friend, Big A, gave him a card signed by all the homies. But Henry had a sinking feeling, and not just about his health. She was concerned that he was speaking with Ron Sweeney about creating a will. I don't trust your baby mama's lawyer doing your will, Henry told him. As Eazy's health faded, a power struggle commenced. Different parties positioned themselves as defenders of his interests, and it wasn't clear who was in charge. Heller still thought of himself as Eazy's primary ally, but could do nothing as Woods and Sweeney took over many of Eazy's affairs.
Wow.
Ron Sweeney presented us with our first royalty checks, and we had never seen him a day in our life, Crazy Bones said, adding that they hadn't spoken with Eazy for weeks. Our whole thing at that point was, like, where's Eazy at? Meanwhile, a Nation of Islam detail arrived at the hospital and began a 24-hour security watch. They were there to keep everybody from rushing in on him, said Shahid Muhammad, a Nation of Islam captain who was part of the security detail, adding that they came at the behest of Mike Klein, Ruthless's director of business affairs.
Mike Klein.
It was Mike Klein who got them the detail and paid them, he said, adding that later, Ron Sweeney began making the payments. This wasn't particularly strange. The Nation has a history of guarding black celebrities, including Michael Jackson, Jesse Jackson, Tupac Shakur, Ice Cube, and Johnny Cochran. Eazy's detail included up to 4 security-focused Fruit of Islam members at a time. Cedars-Sinai spokeswoman Paula Correa told the Los Angeles Times, adding that it wasn't unusual for famous patients to hire private security. Heller claimed the guards blocked him from seeing Eazy in the hospital. The baby mamas couldn't get up to see him. The babies couldn't get up to see him. We couldn't get up to see him, said Gary Ballin. Tracy Jernigan said Tamika Woods instructed the Nation to keep out practically everyone.
She was trying to get wow. She was positioning herself because she knew he wasn't ready to check out, I think. So let me get all this paperwork together, keep all the baby mamas back, and I can get this dude to sign over his record label to me legally. And then by the time they get up here, then none of y'all can do about none of y'all can do about it.
Including Eazy's children and his children's mothers. Shahid Muhammad, who was part of the detail, said that keeping the mothers and children away from Eazy was indeed part of the detail's stated objective.
Wow.
Though, remember, Muhammad said he was initially hired by Klein rather than Woods.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, rapper
Yeah, but
Stefan
that's her boss. That Klein is Tamika's the boss of Klein. So come on.
arrived to the Woodland Hills home where he was living, Easy's house, only to find himself barred from entering. A
Mm,
phalanx of Nation guards were standing in front of the door. He said his belongings were put onto a moving truck, and he was told they were taken to storage, though he was never
damn,
able to retrieve them. Vince
damn.
Caruso, the ruthless college radio promoter also living in the house, seconds Stefan's account, but adds that he had better luck permeating the security. He recruited Toker to come with him, and upon sizing up the South Central gangbanger, they parted like the Red Sea and let me
What?
in to retrieve all of my things, Caruso said. But the Nation of Islam wasn't just interested in protecting Easy and his belongings. They were interested in curing him. Rumors
What?
began circulating that the black nationalist group had a remedy for AIDS.
Mm.
I heard they were saying they had the cure, Stefan said.
Probably do.
In 1990, an experimental AIDS drug called Kemron came to market in Kenya. The Kenya Medical Research Institute reported that Kemron helped most patients gain weight and
Mm.
alleviated their symptoms. The drug was unveiled with fanfare and nationalistic triumph, reported the New
Mm.
York Times on October 3, 1990, with patients coming from as far away as the U.S. for treatment.
Mm.
Other researchers urged caution about the tablet, which was also known as a low-dose alpha interferon, a natural chemical that's produced in response to infection. A
Mm-hmm.
World Health Organization study in Uganda in 1992 and 1993 concluded the drug to be no more effective than a placebo.
Mm.
Nonetheless, some continued to believe its merits, and a Washington clinic run by the alternative medicine-focused Abundant Life Foundation received a $213,000 federal contract to treat AIDS patients. The foundation's director, Dr. Abdul Alim Muhammad, was a Nation of Islam member and former Louis Farrakhan spokesman.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't claim that low-dose alpha interferon cured AIDS, only that studies he contributed to showed it resulted in weight gain, increased appetite, and energy levels.
Yeah.
Still, this hadn't stopped the Nation of Islam newspaper, The Final Call, from calling it a cure for AIDS.
Oh.
Dr. Abdul Alim Muhammad personally procured Kemran for Easy, Shahid Muhammad said. Dr. Alim shipped it from D.C. on a plane, having made sure it was fresh and potent, so it would go right into his system, Shahid
Mm.
said, adding that he helped administer it to the rapper and it seemed for a time to make him feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Ceremony. Easy and Tamika Woods decided to marry. They wed on
I
March
wonder what happened with it. So I guess well, obviously it didn't work, right? So I'm like, what happened, right? Well, you know what happened. It didn't work, obviously, right? But damn, but they didn't go more in detail of what like did it. Did they stop? Like, why did he stop use? Did he stop using it? You know, or did eventually the stuff was working for a little bit? Then eventually he just started. You know, it just his body got used to it. Maybe it stopped working. Like they didn't go into detail about this kind of. They kind of left us hanging and right into this whole Tamika and Easy getting married. But let's go ahead and finish listening and see what's going on with that.
14th, the day before his scheduled surgery to drain fluid from his lungs. We got married at the hospital because he wasn't sure if he was going to make it through,
Oh
Wood
wow.
said. In the presence of a pastor, the short ceremony took place that evening, well past dark,
Mm.
with Easy in the bed, but fully conscious. The proceedings were held before a small group that included Easy's sister, brother, and parents.
Mm-hmm.
Almost immediately, Easy's will was written to make Woods and Sweeney co-executors of Easy's estate.
Why Sweeney?
The surgery, planned for the next day, was canceled, as Easy's health was deemed too fragile. As for the Kimron, the cure for AIDS, according to Shahid Muhammad, it had temporarily perked Easy up.
Mm-hmm.
His vitals picked up again, and he really got better, he said, though he added that before long, his pain returned.
Mm. Oh, it didn't work. Okay.
We were all
So there we go. So his body got it worked for a little bit, but then it stopped. It yeah. It didn't really yeah. His body got used to it.
so hopeful, Tracy Jernigan said. But though many close to Easy were in favor of him continuing the alternative medicine, Woods was against it. She didn't know what they were giving him, she reasoned. Perhaps it could kill him. Shahid Muhammad said she called it a miracle potion that wasn't going to work, and that she and Ron Sweeney promptly removed him from the security detail. He was also told to cease administering the Kimran. Woods' opposition to an unproven drug can hardly be faulted, but to Easy's desperate supporters, it seemed like throwing in the towel.
Right.
That's when everybody starts saying, they got the cure, and she won't even let them give him the cure, Stefan said. When I started asking Tamika questions, she started saying, there's nothing else that can be done, said Henry. She'd given up. The morning after Easy was married, he was taken to the intensive care unit. He always said he was going to marry Tamika, Easy's sister Patricia Wright told me. We met at a party held on September 7th, 2014, to commemorate what would have been Easy's 50th birthday. Wright wore short, dyed green hair, a lip ring, and smart-looking glasses. Her voice sounds uncannily like Eric's. Some dispute Patricia's claim that Easy had long intended to wed Woods, or anyone for that matter. Eric was not a person to get married to anybody. He was not one to marry Tamika, said Big A. Mike Klein also maintained that Easy had expressed no interest in getting hitched. And in a lawsuit he soon filed, he claimed Easy signed his will while in a debilitated state and under medication. Sweeney and Woods denied the claims. Even if he did say he was going to marry her, Tracy Jernigan argued that didn't mean much. He told Tracy the same thing she said. For his part, Jerry Heller called Jernigan and her daughter with Easy.
He was telling him that because he was telling him that 'cause he probably got caught cheating. And when dudes get caught cheating, oh baby, I want to marry you, girl. Come on now, you gonna let? That's just something I messed up. You the one I'm gonna marry. You know what I'm saying?
Named E.B., the longtime true loves of Easy's life. Was Easy a one-woman guy?
Nope.
Of course not. But did he believe it was in his best interest and the best interest of his company to sign it over to the woman now known as Tamika Woods Wright? It seems quite possible. Putting aside the question of true love, which we can't really know, Easy may have wanted to marry her at least in part because she was a sensible candidate to run Ruthless. She had a half-decade's experience in the music business, after all, training under the great Clarence Avant. Heller, though, complained that she was simply Avant's secretary, though she later took the title of executive assistant. In fact, I had already given Clarence notice that I was leaving to join Ruthless as general manager when Eric went into the hospital, Woods Wright said. According to numerous Ruthless employees and contractors, Woods Wright quickly parted ways with much of the staff. Bodyguard Joe Fierro said he was abruptly fired and not given severance. Gary Ballin said he was fired by Woods Wright a week or 2 weeks after Easy passed away.
Oh, that's a security guard.
Above the Law left Ruthless because their contract was finished. Toker said Brownside also left the label voluntarily, believing it wouldn't be the same without Easy, even though Woods Wright said she'd honor their deal. Bone Thugs and some of the label's top acts were spared. Tracy Jernigan told Vibe she encountered Woods Wright in the hospital while the latter was working on paperwork. She sat there with Ruthless checks on her lap, making out checks like, he won't be here anymore. You'll see who's running things now. Yeah, I had paperwork there, Woods Wright responded in the Vibe story.
So check this out, y'all. So what do y'all think? Maybe that stuff that the Nation of Islam was really getting ready to maybe help Easy, and maybe Tamika was with them giving him the stuff, but then the people that work for Tamika probably was like, Tamika, you know, if he died, you gonna own this company if you play your cards right. Like, he got his, you know what I'm saying? And also, girl, he could have gave you AIDS. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he put your life at jeopardy. You know, at least you could do is let this alone. When he passed away, You at least listed. The least this fool can do is let you have his company, being that he almost put your life at jeopardy and your baby, because they had what, two kids together or one kid together, and your kid. You know what I'm saying? So they probably let that fool die. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know.
But for me to say something like that, to be that cruel, anybody who would say that about me is just being malicious.
Hmm.
Before it's too late. Not many people outside of Easy's inner circle knew about his condition. But on March 16th, while he lay in the ICU, Easy's camp released a statement on his behalf. At a Hollywood news conference, attorney Ron Sweeney read the message aloud, revealing to the wider world for the first time that Easy had AIDS. I may not seem like a guy that you'd pick to preach a sermon, but I feel it's now time to testify. Because I do have folks that care about me hearing all kinds of stories about what's up. Yeah, I was a brother on the streets of Compton doing a lot of things most people look down on. But it did pay off. Then, we started rapping about real stuff that shook up the LAPD and the FBI. But we got our message across big time. And everyone in America started paying attention to the boys in the hood. Soon, our anger and hopes got everyone riled up. There were great rewards for me personally, like fancy cars, gorgeous women, and good living. Like real non-stop excitement. I'm not religious, but wrong or right, that's me. I'm not saying this because I'm looking for a soft cushion wherever I'm heading. I just feel that I've got thousands and thousands of young fans that have to learn about what's real when it comes to AIDS. Like something good that will reach out to all my homeboys and their kin, because I want to save their asses before it's too late. I'm not looking to blame anyone except myself. I've learned in the last week that this thing is real, and it doesn't discriminate. It affects everyone.
Mm.
My girl Tamika and I have been together for 4 years, and we recently got married. She's good. She's kind and a wonderful mother. We have a little boy who's a year old.
Oh yeah, they have a little boy.
Before
Okay.
Tamika, I had other women. I have 7 children by 6 different mothers. Maybe success was too good to me.
And of course, now this came out that this is so he had 7 back was 7, and then he had the 8th with Tamika. Or no, I guess that includes Tamika, right? The 7 different women with 6 baby mamas. So I'm thinking that, but now it's come out that he has actually 10 kids. He has 8, 9, 10, 3 more children with three other women. So that came out right when the movie Straight Outta Compton came out back in the day.
I love all my kids, and I always took care of them. Now I'm in the biggest fight of my life, and it ain't easy. But I want to say much love to those who have been down with me, and thanks for all your support. Just remember, it's your real time, and your real life.
Hmm. That's deep, man. That is deep. Anyway, y'all can if y'all want to listen to the rest of this, it's on Audible. Original Gangsters by Ben Westhoff. Really good audio book, man. I'm still going through it. I'm actually listening to it as I do the reaction video, so I'm learning stuff that I didn't know. But no, because this is my era. This is if I was a kid when Eazy-E was alive and kicking. I think I might have been maybe in the. I'm trying to think what grade I was when Eazy-E died. I think I might have been like in the 9th. I think I might have been like a freshman. I think I had just got to high school when Eazy-E passed away. Or I might have been a sophomore. I can't remember. But anyway, I know I was in high school. I remember. It's funny. I remember he died on a Friday. It was Friday morning when he passed away. And my brother, Sherman, had moved back in with my mom at the time. And he would work. He was a manager at Albertsons, and he was staying with, he moved back in after him and his wife broke up. He moved back in with me and my mom. And I remember I was in the bedroom asleep, And he would stay up all night on his days off, and he was off that Friday. So he was up all night watching the news and watching TV. And I remember he coming in my room, he was like, Chucky. They call me Chucky, that's my nickname. He was like, Chucky, Easy just died. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, yeah, man, wake up, man, Easy just died. I'm like, what up, man, whatever. I just went back to sleep. I remember that. I remember waking up, and I was like, what? I'm like, oh, man, that's messed up. I said, man, close the door and go. I went back to sleep. And then the next morning, I was like, oh, snap, Easy died? And then I heard on the radio while I was getting ready for school that he had passed away. Yeah, so it's funny how you remember stuff like that. You know, rest in peace to my brother Sherman. Anyway, what do y'all think about that? This book. Need your comments. What do y'all think about that? Y'all think Tamika might have, I don't know, what y'all think? Y'all think Tamika might have stopped them giving him the stuff? That stuff might have been working. And maybe Tamika thought, like, wait a minute, I can actually take over $1 million company. If if this guy lives, we might break up and he gonna be out there cheating again, and I ain't gonna get nothing. I'm gonna be back being a secretary for this dude, even though Clarence Savant is a reputable name in music, so that's a good job to have working with him, but still. Yeah, what do y'all think? Y'all think Tamika was like, y'all think she might have been plotting to get Ruthless? What do y'all think? Leave it in the comments and subscribe to the Wright. Appreciate it.